Sergeant Benzine was in an encounter with the man he had tortured. And the man he had tortured said, "Will you show South Africa how you used to put a wet bag over our heads and make us think we were drowning?" And there was an orderly lay down on the floor and a bag was put over his head. And show us how you would kneel on our backs while that was happening. And the sergeant did that. And when the sergeant stood up, he was crying. This man who had the power of life and death was crying. He was crying because his side had been defeated. He was crying because he was acknowledging doing something that was cruel and unacceptable. And his tears were important for our nation, and we all remember that. It wasn't collecting evidence simply from archives, from documents, or even from testimony recorded. It was showing to the whole nation in a very human way. We heard the voices of our people, the perpetrators and those who suffered. We saw the body language. This was us. This was us. So this is the man who tried to kill me. I see in his eyes, so this is the man I tried to kill. We hadn't known each other before. And say, "Henry, I have to get on with my work, and I can't shake your hand. But go to the Truth Commission. Tell them the truth. Maybe we will meet one day." 9 months later, I'm at a party. It's warm, it's hot, the band is playing, the music is loud. I'm with my friend, and I hear a voice saying, "Albie." And I look around. I can't believe it. It's Henry, calling me by my first name. And he comes up to me, and he says, "I went to the Truth Commission. I spoke to Bobby and Sue and Farouk, people who've been in exile with me, also first names. I told them everything, and you said that one day." And I said, "Henry, I've only got your face to tell me that what you're saying is the truth." And I put up my hand and I shook his hand. He went away happy, and I almost fainted. He's not my friend. I won't invite him to go to a movie with me or a restaurant. But if I'm sitting in a bus and he sits next to me, I'll wonder, "How are you getting on, Henry?" And it helped him to become part of the new South Africa, and it helped me. Instead of that mysterious, ugly thing, the enemy, the past, it was a human being who is now accepting the norms and the standards of his society. It wasn't about punishment, and it wasn't about forgetting the past. It was about remembering the past, understanding the past, making sure it doesn't happen again, and learning the moral issues and questions about the past. Sending Henry to jail wouldn't have helped me. It wouldn't, as I said, make roses and lilies grow out of my arm. But being in a country based on humanity and justice and freedom, that becomes the norms, the standards, where people tell the truth, and where it's seen as virtuous to tell the truth, and where, in that sense, you don't get punished for telling the truth, you get acknowledged for telling the truth. These were the big gains that we made in our society. If we'd adopted lustration, we wouldn't have had a public service, because all the middle senior jobs were kept for white people only. We needed administration. So there were very strong practical reasons for that. But it was more than that. We wanted a nation. We wanted to get away from saying, "You treated us badly, now we're going to do to you what you did to us." We wanted to move on, not move on, we wanted to transcend. The belief of African leaders like Oliver Tambo, Nelson Mandela, Albert Lutuli, many others, was always, we can live together as equals in one country. The whites can't, they're too narrow, they're too self-centered, They can't imagine history different. They can't imagine sharing the country as equals. We can imagine it. We want that. We discussed frustration, but not very lengthily. It wasn't for us viable. What penalty people should pay for bad things that they did, it can be just in public opinion. It's a funny, strange kind of penalty, having to accept the justice of people you treated unjustly, and their justice actually is more generous. But you submit to that generous justice. It's a paradox, but you now acknowledging the moral superiority of the people you despise before as human beings. I know in our case, if you had to tell your story to get amnesty, then you paid the price of shame. And I would imagine the sergeant coming home and the wife saying, all the time I did secret work and you wouldn't tell me what you were doing. I thought you had a lover. Now I discover you were only torturing people. For her it might be even a relief. But the children saying, Daddy, did you do that? Did you put your electrodes on the penis of a person? You're my daddy. But to get amnesty, he had to acknowledge that he'd done that. That's a heavy price, but he doesn't go to jail. One of the most difficult things in the whole world, and it's partly because truth by its nature is elusive, it's difficult. It's partly because you want to be objective. You want to be outside of the issues you're discussing, but the commissioners are human beings, they're part of the society, but they need the discipline not to allow short-term political advantages, either in denouncing opposition for bad things they did in the past, or denouncing the Truth Commission for opening up things that are uncomfortable for you. The Commission has to be managed in a way that minimizes both those risks. You can't be neutral on torture violations. It's not 50-50. These things you feel deeply as a human being are impossible. But it is important to be impartial. Impartial means you listen to everybody. You weigh up carefully. You don't have your mind made up about individuals before they've had a chance to speak. It will be very sad if the end result is that the pain of people who suffered very grievously in very hard years, in the end is not acknowledged by the society. And if the party political conflicts of today destroy the chances of finding out the truth about the past. I wouldn't say anything about who's responsible for that. I'm a visitor and I don't know enough, but even if I knew more, I wouldn't comment on it. That's an issue very much for Taiwanese. But it would be sad, because this is an opportunity for the nation. And in our case, the main emphasis was on people being able to tell their stories of what happened to them. That was the main emphasis. And then the other important aspect was people who'd done bad things were given an opportunity and encouragement to come forward and tell their stories. And it often involved people who'd done terrible things. But if they did those terrible things, it's better they come forward and acknowledge. The country is better, the truth comes out.